Are we going, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission to Lars, beginning.
Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno. We are here at the Hackney Picturehouse this evening where brothers Will, Kate and Tom Spicer certainly spiced their life up when they went on their road trip mission to meet Lars.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
In terms of making the film, that was one adventure. Getting the film out, that's another one. Sitting here at the premiere, that is, God, painful, worse than an adventure.
2.5 years since we started. It's very stop-starty. We didn't really know if we were going to be able to get the money. We didn't know if anyone wanted to watch it. We didn't know if it was going to be perceived as a holiday video, which is what someone said at the start. So yeah, to be here in a packed-out premiere is good.
Metallica, the biggest rock band in the world. You've said for 10 years, want to meet Lars.
We're going to meet him here.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to meet him here.
Essentially just been growing further apart.
We've got 3 gigs in 3 cities. We've got 3 chances.
Everyone that goes to the show wants to meet Lars.
Well, Tom has something called Fragile X syndrome, which is the commonest cause of inherited learning disability. It's not that well known, but it does actually affect about 1 in 3,000 people. He's learning disabled, he's slightly autistic, his speech isn't great. There are lots of different sort of disabilities bundled together under Fragile X, but you know, to me he's just Tom.
The whole mission statement, you know, excuse the pun, was to take Tom and take the preconceptions that people have about people like Tom, and by the end of the film have people accepting and rooting for Tom just as anybody else.
We knew we had to make a film because we couldn't do what we wanted to do unless we did. We haven't got loads and loads and loads of money, and also what I think subconsciously what Will and I knew was that we needed to go on an adventure. We didn't just want to do a grip and grin. You know, I think that probably would have been reasonably easy eventually to set up. We didn't just want to go, oh, hello, like that. You know, we needed to go through something together to bring us closer together, and if we got Tom to Lars, then that would be, yeah, brilliant.
Who's getting the big room?
Me.
Tell me where it's all gone.
We were just wondering if Lars is here. Lars? Lars?
Don't know anyone near those dressing.
William, who's my other brother, and I kind of felt that we drifted away from Tom in our lives. We were kind of racing around in London and he was in his care home, and that we loved him dearly, but that we were stuck for sort of similarities in our lives, and I think sometimes he felt quite left out. So we wanted to be closer to our brother, basically.
No.
Do you really think Lars is too busy to see you?
Yes.
He just said he doesn't want to do it anymore, Will. I think both Will and I had quite naive fantasies that this was going to be some kind of Brady Bunch type kind of, you know, dream rock and roll road trip, and us sort of drinking Budweisers at the end of the day.
Having crisps on the road, listening to music, but actually, you know, travelling, cameras, charging them up, making sure that material is done, and you know, and that's, we didn't want to show any of that, so and we didn't. So that then put a lot of pressure on the family.
It was very, very, very difficult. It was taking Tom out of a very safe environment. He has a very small world. He probably shouldn't, but he does have a small world. Will and I didn't really know a great deal about caring for Tom.
And then to make it even worse, James put fixed cameras all over the van. So there were bits that I managed to edit out, but actually the fixed cameras were getting...
Yeah, there was a lot. We took a lot out actually of those, of Will and Kate struggling to get on and struggling to deal with the mission, because we wanted to be more about Tom's point of view.
It was amazing how he could kind of conquer his disabilities for something he really, 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 really wanted, which I think is true of all of us. We've all kind of got disabilities. You know, we might not all be labelled, oh, you have Fragile X, or you are Down syndrome, but we could all be reduced down to a sort of sequence of diagnoses, you know, and all of us, normal or not normal, and you have to respect Tom for totally fighting through his disabilities, coming out the other side. Is there more going on in his head?
Absolutely. I think it would be really great if he could make the connection with Lars.
In the confines of fear.
Oh my God! They know who we are. Getting through to Metallica actually was a really, really long process, and in the film we sort of make out it was quite a short process just for kind of artistic license. But actually for a year, I had been talking to a lot of people. Like whenever I met someone who was I'd be like, I'm making this film. I've got to find. Do you know anyone in Metallica? And sort of sending emails and things like that. But actually when we bought the flights and we're like, oh my God, actually no, we really have to do this now. But actually what was interesting was we arrived in the States and there was a bit of jeopardy there. It was like, actually, were they going to make it happen? We just thought they probably would. I don't know. We were kind of gambling a bit. We'd had a few kind of nods, but we definitely hadn't had one big, gigantic nod. And then we arrived, and after a while, we realised like they're going to make this happen. I don't know how major it's going to be. It might just be a grip and grin, but whatever. We are going to meet Lars, which is what we promised Tom. But by that stage, Lars is the least of our problems. By that stage, we're dealing with Tom and Fragile X, and Lars was small fry, frankly.
We struggled and we despaired a lot when we were on the road. It didn't feel like it was going very well. But I think the fact that the little crew we had were all just really, really struggling to make it work. Actually, I guess you don't know when you're doing it, but what do they say? Fail to plan to fail. We didn't do anywhere near enough preparation. I mean, we were prepared as filmmakers, but the reality of sort of managing Tom, managing the band, there's no preparation you could do for that, unless you're like a fully fledged big studio. We were so tiny. All we could do was just sort of project ourselves.
Hit the road and hope.
Yeah.
For him, the sound is 10 times louder than it is for you.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes.
Are you going to stay for the show?
No.
We were not going to achieve our aim unless we learnt to listen to our brother. And in doing that, we have built bridges that will always be there. We're not going to lose that respect for him we have now. I mean, he was amazing, and he broke through disabilities. We spoke to quite a few specialists before we went away on this trip, and they were like, if you could make it 3 days long, and we're like, well, that's impossible. Heavy metal doesn't really work like that, and road trips don't work like that. And an awful lot of people thought it wouldn't work, but Tom had to fight through his disabilities, and it's subtle, that aspect of the film. You watch Tom and you'll see his struggle. If you're a sensitive person, you'll pick it up immediately. And he fought through his disabilities and his fears, and there's some very specific disabilities that come to light in the film that make you realise like how difficult meeting Lars is going to be for him.
It really has changed his outlook on the world. He's got a mobile phone. He's always on it. He's always calling me. He's got this little bus pass, and he's going on mad adventures on his own, freaking out his parents, calling the police. But then he just rolls up, and they're like, "Where have you been?" So I went out. So he's just, and then he's here now, and it's just because what we learnt on the film is that part of his condition is that they retreat into themselves as they get older. And then as we're all getting older, and then we sort of didn't notice it because you think maybe that's just what you do. You just get older and you sort of get stuck into your own life. But actually, Tom is doing it for other reasons. So we now know that actually, as brothers and sisters, we've got to stay in there, just keep being his brother.
I don't think I can ever go back to the kind of slight. I wasn't a super bad sister, but I can be a little bit indifferent and a bit dismissive of him sometimes, and I couldn't go back to that because I just respect him too much now. And I would hope that anybody else with a learning disabled sibling has reached that place or could find that place, because it's a good place to be.
From this point forward, there'll always be this trip. We've always done stuff for Mencap anyway, and so at the start, when we didn't get any money, we made the money by organising raves and auctions and things like that. And we couldn't have done that. We needed to do it for a charity. You need a charity partner to do that. So obviously Mencap were who we went to, and they've got skills that we didn't have on that side. So they really helped us. So we helped them by giving them half the money. And so we're happy to maintain that relationship because they do good things. And my sister's been talking to them, and they're going to do this thing now called Mencap Missions. So it's like a legacy. So maybe when the film's slowly sort of been, gone box set or something. Not box set, left on the shelf. Anyway, so yeah, they're going to do Mencap missions. Bargain bin, yeah. Bargain bin at the supermarket.
So it was like, Jim will fix it.
Yeah, what kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I suppose it's almost like sort of Make-A-Wish as well, the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, but we want this to be a bit more like, yeah, you've got to get up, you've got to challenge yourself, and you've got to do something. I think Make-A-Wish is they sort of lay it out for you on a plate, but we want to...
And perhaps, you know, there might be a film angle to it, you know, make short films about it, or collection of short films, get directors to guest and do little short films and things like that.
Yeah.
It's all just an idea at this point, I think.
Just got to get him to those gigs, he's going to love it.
Well, we got a lot of knockbacks. A lot of people said no, a lot of people said you're not right, you're not sort of thing that people want to watch. Or we had TV saying, okay, we know how this fits, we'll put it in a schedule, be formatted TV. It's what we came to call My Cat's Fat and So Am I. And we decided that wasn't really right for our brother or for what we wanted to do. And then we had this little lucky break where we were going nowhere, we couldn't get any money, and then someone said, oh, you should go and speak to this guy at Passion Pictures. And then we were like, yeah, go and speak to them. We didn't really have anything to lose at that point. And then we found out, oh God, they win Oscars. But we emailed them anyway, and they got us in. And they sort of said, the line that they said was, you know, forget about TV, just make the film you want to make. And then we said, can we have some money? And they said, no, we don't do that. But just that little line of encouragement was enough just to think, all right, yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to make a film.
But what's extraordinary about it is it's taken nearly 4 years from when we first thought about it to standing here talking to you now, and you know, we've done all right. We've done all right. I hope so. I don't know what you think, but you can do it. It can be done. It can be done. You can make low-budget films, and you can raise the money, and it's doable.
If you keep chipping away at something, and you don't have, time is a luxury, and to be able to just not put it out the door until you're ready, that was the best decision we made, I think, because if we'd have gone with a TV company, we would have had 6 weeks to cut it. It would have been out, but you know, it's a curse as well. But to be able to get it to exactly how we wanted it, I think is the luxury, and I think I would take that forward.
It's like jumping out of an aeroplane. Just getting Tom to meet Lars for 5 minutes will be a miracle.
What's your next mission going to be?